Well, allow me to nerd out about fashion and its convergence with politics for a few minutes, if you don't mind, because I'm not the only one saying it. I believe that a sense of class and decorum has finally returned to the White House given Trump's inauguration. I saw many examples of this in his administration, his family. First one that stood out to me was Oscar de la Renta posting, basically gloating about dressing the Trump family as well as JD Vance's wife Usha for the inaugural events.
You'll have to inform me. Where is this company based? Like, where it's I mean, he's dead, right? Or whoever. Long ago.
Well, it's a fashion house.
It's a fashion
named
house now.
after the founder. I'm not sure of his nationality, but yeah, they were founded in 1965.
But not in America.
Yes. The interesting thing about it all to me is the way that Melania was essentially shunned by the fashion world. Melania was not allowed to grace the cover of Vogue the way that Michelle Obama was, or the way that Jill Biden was, which was a joke, especially given that she herself is a supermodel and that is her background, being in the fashion world. But the second that she was associated with the bad orange man, she was not allowed to be in that world anymore. And in fact, there were plenty of fashion designers who completely boycotted her and decided not to dress her because of her association with Trump.
Okay.
But yeah, Oscar de la Renta posted photos of Ivanka Trump wearing their custom dress for the inaugural candlelight dinner. And then they also posted photos of Usha Vance wearing their clothes at the inaugural ceremony. She looked really good in this, in my opinion. I like the pink. But in response to these posts, a lot of people called for a boycott of the brand, saying that this was their alignment with fascism.
Well, it's fashion.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Dance break.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Okay.
X-users not only slammed Ivanka's outfit, but also blasted Oscar de la Renta for endorsing fascism. One of the most well-liked comments beneath her photo stated, "Fascism, but make it fashion." Another added, "The big brands once again support evil in the name of higher profits, just like it happened during the rise of Nazis." That's a hop, skip, and a jump right there. Yeah. Another one wrote, "Bootlicking is never in season." Another one said, "Always have loved. Sad to be done with Oscar de la Renta. I don't support brands that support fascists." They don't need your support at all. Yeah. But, you know, I find it interesting that this call for boycott happened in such a pronounced way, because I remember that back in 2017, Melania wore this very Jackie O inspired outfit that was this powder blue coat and a pillbox hat. She looked like Jackie Kennedy embodied in that on that day, and you can see it in this photo. This was a Ralph Lauren outfit, and Ralph Lauren at the time also faced a boycott for dressing her, which is why in a domino effect, she ended up getting boycotted by a whole lot of designers. But yeah, here were some of the takes. Boycott Ralph Lauren became a trending hashtag on social media, with detractors weighing in on their decision. Ralph Lauren even commented on this, saying, "We immediately started getting complaints about Melania Trump wearing our label and people using the hashtag boycott Ralph Lauren." But there was no going back on the decision at that point. I see a huge difference in the aesthetic between her outfit for the first inauguration and the one that she just wore. And it sends a message that basically it more or less means F you.
Is the reason for this mostly because that they get when they say they dressed her, that means that the clothes are provided for her?
Yes.
Meaning that
or if they custom
it's
made
seen
something.
as signing off for it because she didn't buy it herself. They either provided it or it was custom made.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So they're facing boycotts as well. I think that this just means for Melania, when she's wearing this hat that covers her eyes and she looks very closed off. She's not entertaining the press anymore.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. And as dorky as it sounds to say that fashion is political, that is the reality. That is true. There is a political statement being made to the media in what she's wearing.
I did see, was it Styx, Hex, and Hammer pointed out that Trump wore like a royal purple tie.
The tie?
Yeah. And that's...
Well, what is that supposed to symbolize then?
He said it was a very point... is that supposed to be something about political dynasty? I don't know. But is he never leaving office now? Put your tinfoil hats on, guys.
Trump 2028?
Yep.
Because of the purple tie?
Because of the purple tie?
Yeah. I think that people definitively voted in favor of beauty and class and elegance and against ugliness.
It's just funny too because what did Biden issue like after his 8,000 pardons? He pardoned like his whole family, which is something that they said that Trump would do for his family. But you know, his kids have all had to live like beyond above board because they're not given any quarter by the media or the public that hates them.
Well, speaking of the first kids, there is no greater contrast than that between Ella Emhoff, the stepdaughter of Kamala Harris, and Ivanka Trump in these photos. If you're listening rather than watching, count yourself lucky because you didn't have to see Ella Emhoff's crochet bikini and armpit hair.
I did not notice that until I made the picture bigger. I hate you so much for making me look at that.
She also has a tattoo of a cow on her arm.
Okay.
Didn't see that before. That's kind of a
so
strange
I only
choice.
made people look at that for like a quarter of a second and then I got it off the screen.
She looks like every mass Bushwick citizen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like a LARP. You're LARPing as someone who has 7 roommates in Bushwick when you actually belong to a political dynasty
But
family.
you drink nothing but the highest priced imported beers.
And that's what I've always loved about Trump is that he doesn't care about seeming relatable. He just is relatable.
Yep. I mean,
he's always had such ostentatious appearance and lived in these like actual gilded castles. And still somehow comes off as an everyman because he's not faking it.
Yep.
You know?
I've never been able to understand how... I don't think that there is going to be another example of any politician outside of him that will ever be able to do the photo op stunts that he did that don't... For instance, who was I listening to the other talking about, like, why does it work when Trump goes to work at McDonald's but Hillary carries some hot sauce and everyone dunks on her? Why does one work but the other doesn't? Because, look, even if it's political bias, I don't think that no like leftist or liberal who likes Hillary Clinton is going to pretend like that's normal. They're just going to say, like, I like her, so I'll ignore the cringe, right? But most people will understand that when Trump does it, it just works. But there isn't another politician in the Republican Party that would be able to do that at all.
No,
none. Like I said, we like
a
lot of people really like JD Vance as a politician. He's well spoken. He did great at the debate. But him in the donut shop was one of the most hilariously bad political photo ops I've ever seen. He should not try to be relatable. He looked like he'd never been in a donut shop in his life. But the thing is he actually is the person who grew up in a lower class and made it out. Grew up, poor, drug addicted mother, got himself to college, got a degree, joined the military. He is an example of actually pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. You don't need to pretend to know donuts.
Whereas Trump does not. He comes from the opposite of humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And yet seems to be far more down to earth than the rest of the politicians. Yeah. Like the difference
you wouldn't feel like you could say the wrong thing around it.
Like you're bringing up the hot sauce thing with Hillary Clinton. She said that because she was trying to convince people that she actually listens to Beyonce in her free time. No one believes that. No one actually believes that.
The closest they've got is that Obama could at least make some people believe that he listens to the newest pop music these days.
Just barely.
Just barely. And it worked more when he was younger.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
he can pull that off. And like I said, a lot of people won't give him the credit that he was an incredible. He was incredible at the showman side of being a president. He was, and granted, he was protected at every corner by the media, but it's not the point.
The biggest fashion faux pas that I want to highlight, though, from the inauguration was Lauren Sanchez.
We did talk about this yesterday. As I said, I'm sure when Mark got home last night that him and his wife had a very pointed discussion. And she said, look, that statue you built for me outside in our backyard isn't going to cut it, Mark. I did laugh that when you looked up Mark Zuckerberg on Twitter yesterday, on X yesterday, the two things that come up in the search bar were Mark Zuckerberg and then under that, Mark Zuckerberg divorce.
The clip of Zuck staring at Lauren Sanchez's cleavage is going to live in infamy.
Yep.
But, you know, it's not even his fault. That was like the most human thing he's ever done in his life.
It actually was the Turing test for Mark Zuckerberg. He has proved himself human.
That was the most human thing I've ever seen Mark Zuckerberg ever do.
And to be fair, the photographer caught it at literally the perfect moment. It was barely a glance. He moved his head up right away, and he knew right away that he was caught.
I know, but it's still funny.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still gonna laugh at that. But yeah, Jeff Bezos was accompanied by his wife, Lauren Sanchez, to the inaugural ceremony, and she decided to wear a blazer with nothing underneath it but a lace bra. And that was just out on display for everyone to see on national television.
You guys should. There's a crazy AI video of like Lauren Sanchez where she just takes the top. Like, she's not naked, but she just takes the sport coat off. And then there's also the AI of Barron Trump, like 8 feet tall, going into the White House.
You reminded me of the insane, basically lingerie that she wore to the White House state dinner in 2021.
Yep.
She wore this like corset basically
You know
that was
what
completely see-through.
You know what it is?
There's no occasion that calls for some decorum.
Yeah, well, they're not married too. They're like she's.
Oh, they're
his
not
fian-
even
No, they're not
married.
married. She's the fiance.
I wonder what the deciding factor will be for
No, but you know what it
Bezos.
is, right? Have you ever seen the photos of him from before Amazon got really big? He was doing well, but he had the receding hairline. He hadn't shaved his head
He's a
yet.
nerd.
He is a nerd. He can do all the HGH he wants. He can get in all the shape that he needs to get into. I don't think he's ever been able to escape that mindset that he can be like, no, you're not wearing that. He's
you're right.
He's never
You're
going to tell her that
right.
because he's going to look in the mirror. He's going to see Jeff Bezos in 1998 in the sweater vest.
Yup.
And she's also not poor. It's not like she was some destitute. She is not the waitress. No. She was wealthy beforehand. She just wasn't Jeff Bezos wealthy. And he could be like, Lauren, I don't think you should wear that. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Jeff.
Verbally smacks him. This tweet says, for a woman who always dresses like a prostitute to get attention, her tacky choice of clothing to steal attention from the Trump women, no one cared about her. Poor Lauren. She really gives off that same Meghan Markle vibe.
Jeff needs to be like, look, I'm going to take away your Prime shipping, free shipping, if you're not freaking, like, change.
I mean, even Meghan
No
Markle
two-day delivery
has a
for
little
you.
more class than that. Meghan Markle would never go out with her bra showing.
No.
This is another level. I mean,
yeah, but she wouldn't apologize for being a briefcase girl on
I don't
Who
care.
Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I don't care how prudish it sounds. You should not be dressing like that at any sort of
Government function.
I mean, what would you wear? Would she be wearing like pasties at the Pope's funeral? Like, what is the justification for this? What will be the limit for her? Like, when will you look yourself in the mirror and think, maybe I can't leave the house like this?
You know how he beats her? He beats her in this game is that when her, like, if like a family member dies, he wears like a muscle shirt to a family member's funeral. He wears like a tank top.
Look, you're right though. You can do all the HGH you want. You can hit the tanning bed.
You can be a billionaire.
You can literally be a billionaire, and inside your mind, you're still going to see yourself as a nerd who can't stand up to his woman. Sad. Very sad day for Jeff.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.